Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on Happy RC Flyer on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Most of my viewers aren't subscribed, and that helps grow the channel to help grow the hobby. This is an unbiased, unsponsored perspective, and if you like that kind of content, family friendly, unsponsored, unbiased content, then you're at the right place. So nobody pays me to tell you what's good or what's bad. I don't make any money off the videos, just here as a hobbyist to share in the fun of RC and to help you be informed maybe on your purchases, or maybe you'll see something on the channel that you like. You might purchase something through the link. I don't make any money on the links or anything. I don't do any affiliate links. I don't do any sponsorships, nothing like that. Just here with honest perspective and share in some of the fun that I have in RC. So I hope you enjoy that kind of content. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on notifications if you want to be notified of future videos that are upcoming. You'll want to turn on the notifications. Like the video if you like it at the end. Drop a comment or question if you have one. And share it with a friend you think might enjoy the video. So today we have the Micro Draco by E-flite. Check it out. This is a smaller version. This is not a UMX. They've been pretty clear to inform us that this is not the UMX size. And we're going to find that out here in just a minute. I haven't had it out of the box yet. But these came out probably a few months ago, maybe. I'm not sure how long they've been out now. Maybe they came out in January or February. And I paid full price for this one. So nothing under the table that's going on. No sponsorships. Nobody's trying to get me to tell you how nice it is to sell it to you so that you'll buy one. I have a different job, so I'm just here as a hobbyist. And I make just as much money whether you buy one of these or not. So let's check it out together. I'll be running it and setting it up on the NX10 by Spectrum today. So we do have a Radio Master, and we might be switching over some of our aircraft to Radio Master in the future, but for now, we're going to use NX10, and I'll show you a little bit more about the setup process. But here it is. This is the box that it comes in. It has a nice, nifty little handle. So I'm anxious to see. I haven't really checked it out or had it out of the box or anything. I did look at it well enough to know that there's no damage in shipping, which is nice to know. But other than that, we're going to be looking at it together for the first time today. So has a nice little nifty handle. You just there's pictures on the back of Mike Patey, which was the designer and inventor of the Draco. I think it was Wilco originally that he took and remodified, redesigned, re-restored. And here are some of the key features of the Micro Draco. 2.4 megahertz technology. It comes with a safe and AS3X receiver. It's 3 and 4S capable. It's an officially licensed replica of the real Draco by Mike Patey. It has ball link linkages and has 5 servos. It says steerable nose gear or steerable wheel plus oversized Tundra tires. That's kind of cool. And it's under the 250 gram weight limit. So if you don't want to mess around with the remote ID that they have started enforcing, or maybe I shouldn't say enforcing, but they have passed the law where it's to fly legally over 250 grams as a recreational pilot, you're supposed to have a remote ID module, or you're supposed to be flying at a FRIA. Today we're going to be flying at a FRIA, so it doesn't matter. Most of the airfields that I film at are FRIAs, so I don't have to use remote ID. But this is something that you can take to a park or in your backyard. I'm not here to get into an argument or discussion about the remote ID laws and whether you should or shouldn't follow those. I'm just here to state the facts. So this one is sub 250, so if you do want to comply with the FAA regulations, you don't have to worry about it with this one. You can fly it anywhere and there's not going to be any issues. So here's the box. Has a cool picture of Mike Patey and his wife. It's an 800 millimeter wingspan. You can see a lot of the scale details. And here's the actual picture of the Draco that's inside, Micro Draco. And maybe in a future video, we'll do a comparison between the 2.0 Draco, which I have one of those as well. We'll do a comparison between the 2.0 and the Micro Draco. So you want to subscribe and look for that video. That should be kind of fun. So we're going to flip the tab and open it up. Let's see what's inside here. We're opening up and looking at it together. So it looks like it's very nicely packed. As you can see, you get a nice little sticker, a destruction manual if you need one of those. And then the airplane's packed in there. It's all taped in very nicely. We're going to pull out our pocket knife and go ahead and cut the tape on it. The Draco, if you haven't figured it out already, if you haven't seen any of my other videos on the larger Draco, the 2.0, it's not a plane for everybody. It's not the best all-around plane. But one thing that I really like about my large Draco is it has a lot of scale details. It has a illuminated instrument panel, which is really cool. I don't think I have any other airplanes that come from the factory with illuminated instrument panel. And it definitely flies very scale. It's not a 3D plane. It's not a good trainer plane. If you're just starting into flying, I wouldn't recommend getting the 2.0 Draco. It's just not good for that. It's not a beginner friendly plane. It flies, the easiest way to describe how the 2.0 Draco flies is it flies like a Carbon Z Cub or the Carbon Z Cessna, which are great flying planes. Actually, I prefer the Cessna over the Cub, even though I like Cubs. But for flying ability and handling, the Cessna 150 flies better. But the Draco flies like a Cub if you put a big brick on the wing. That's just how it flies. It's the best way to describe it. And I've shared that perspective with my friends that have flown it, and they say, yeah, that's how it flies. So it flies very heavy. If you're just wanting to fly scale or do some sport flying, it's okay, but it's not a 3D machine, and definitely got a lot of weight there. So I think I missed one piece of tape. We have a piece of tape here around the box. We have 3 pieces right here and another one there, so like 5 pieces, which I guess that's a good thing. But you just have to remember that when you go to get it out of the box. You got to cut all these tape tabs. So we're going to try to get these out of the way if we can. I would rather see it packed in here real nicely instead of sloppily. We're going to set the sticker and the manual aside. There's even some Velcro and looks like a little screw in there for something, which I'm sure we'll find out pretty soon. Go ahead and hang on to our little pieces of foam. I like to see when they pack it with these little, I don't know what you call that, but it's like little bits of, like little thin sheets of packing foam. The reason they do that is because some of the older UMX planes, I have some from the collection, and some of the older UMX planes, they did not use some of these foam pads, and when they didn't, and then they packed them in the box, I don't think the paint was wet, but maybe it was just fresh, and when they'd put that EPO against the EPO, the paint would stick to it. So sometimes when you'd unpack it, the paint of the aircraft would come off. So it's good to see some little improvements like that along the way. And look at that, very nice. Even comes with the scale antenna on it, on the wing. So that is pretty cool. Covering the windshield, the paint job looks really nice. This is a very brilliant color, but I can foresee doing some clear coat to this to even give it a better shine. So keep an eye out maybe for that video. I might clear coat this thing in the future, but let's go ahead and get it out. It feels very delicate, but it has all the scale details of the full-size Draco, and then also the details of the 2.0 Draco. So it even has the little wingtip skids. I don't know if that's what they would call them, but that's what I call them. It has the simulated aileron weights there. You can see the lights that are built into the wing, just like the full scale and just like the larger counterpart, the 2.0. The mold here looks like it's not a real great mold. I see a lot of divots in the foam where the little foam pellets were not pressed in the mold very well or injected very well. So most of it looks pretty good, but right around there it shows, which is not going to show because it's going to be underneath. But overall, could be a little smoother finish. You can see some of the little potholes in the finish of the main wing there. But again, it's not something that's going to affect the flight. And overall and from a distance, it's not something that's really going to show up or stand out or be a problem. But when you get a new airplane, you kind of expect it to be new, you know, and you expect it to be nice. So we're going to set that there. Again, we got some more of this foam that's protecting the fuselage. I like to see that. And I'll just say before we go any further, at this point, it looks like all that has to be done for assembly is, of course, binding it to your transmitter, and then you just put the wing on the airplane. So with that in mind, you want to keep your box, because this is going to be a good place to store your Micro Draco. It's going to be a good box to transport your Micro Draco and protect it while you're not flying it. So we're going to lift this up out of here. And it's got that foam padding on the bottom. Again, you'll want to hang on to that foam padding and make sure that you're going to have it there if you need it to put it back in. I'm just looking at the finish. I do see a number of areas where the little beads are kind of showing, or the lack thereof from the mold, where they didn't get enough in there, I guess. But it's not a deal breaker. It's a cute little airplane. You can definitely tell that it's very lightweight. Again, it already has the little antennas installed. It looks like that's not even a real light back there, so they are cutting some corners, I guess. But they had a lot of lights in the wing. I thought they would have some on the rudder. But this is the first look I've had at it. I've had it for a while sitting in the box. That is, I can't tell if that's metal, painted metal, or painted plastic. I can't tell. Almost feels metal. I know the plastic antenna, or the top antenna is plastic, but the bottom one kind of looks like it's metal. But anyway, there's the board. There's the little linear servos, which I am really paranoid of those linear servos because E-flite and Horizon Park Zone doesn't really have a good reputation with the linear servos in their microplanes, so hopefully that's something different, but we'll find out. There are some tips and tricks to keep those from going bad. We'll have that in another video. Look for that. Applying a little bit of grease or lubrication to that. So motor feels good. Got the little exhaust pipes on there. They feel pretty solid. A little 4-bladed prop and a little nose cone or spinner. Let's see. These actually have suspension. It's really stiff. It's simulated to look like shock absorbers, but they're actually not functioning shock absorbers. So I think all you're seeing there is that little wire spring, which seems really stiff for what it is, but it does offer a little bit of suspension. But that kind of looks a little fragile. So if you came in real hard, it might snap it outwards just because of the stance of it, sort of just like the larger Draco that some people had issues. Now, they did offer an upgrade on the 2.0 Draco. I never had an issue with it. I always try to grease it in on the landing. This is not, doesn't really, I know it's supposed to be a stole plane and a backwoods bush plane, but I've never really used mine for that. I kind of like to grease it in, and because of that, I've never had problems. But if you're going to roughhouse it around, then you might have issues with this landing gear. But we'll find out. We will find out. It's all assumption until it actually gets some flights on it. So let's go ahead and cut this open. We're going to get our battery Velcro out of there. We're going to remove our wing screw, and I think I'm going to have to pick up a screwdriver. I have my hobby box with me, but it's just across the way here. So anyway, I'm going to put this wing screw, I'm going to stick a hole right here, cut a little X in the tape, because that's probably where I'll store it in the future when I take the wing off. I'll just keep that little screw pushed in. So I'm going to set this box down off to the side, and got those backwards. Not sure why they couldn't make those the same, but I guess they have to be different because they sit on the rudder and stuff. So okay, grab this. I don't think we need the sticker out of there for anything. I don't think we need the destruction manual right now. We may look at that here in a little bit. Whoops. So this is very cool. I'm pretty excited. I've had this sitting around for a while and just haven't had time to shoot a video on it. I've had some other things that's been drawing my attention. But let me set this wing on here for now. Whoops, whoa. We need some wheel chocks. So let me set this on here. And I assume this has to be plugged in. So we have this black ribbon cable. Just going by assumptions here because I didn't look at any destruction manual, but it's got that little convenient clip, quick disconnect clip on it. So I don't know if you can see this. Let me turn it this way, that way you can see it without looking into the sun. And we're going to clip that in there. They could give you a little more wire, make it a little bit easier. I wish the wire on that was a little bit longer. Yeah, it's probably possible to customize it. So you tuck the front end first, wiggle it just a little bit to get it to sit on there and saddle down. And then I'm going to let my cameraman show you some close details of this airplane while I retrieve a screwdriver, and I'll be back on set here in just a moment. This is a good opportunity to use the tiny turner or teeny turner that we had from our Tools and Tips Tuesday a couple weeks ago. I should have had that in my pocket. But anyway, It is a very scale looking little airplane. I have not been too excited about the timber planes, the little UMX timbers. One of my first UMX planes that I purchased was a UMX turbo timber, and I have had a lot of fun with it, but I don't know. I've kind of been turned off of the whole timber lineup just because I've gotten into more scale airplanes and enjoy flying scale type aircraft. So this is a joy. Very cute. So we're going to put that screw in there. It's fairly long. Use our teeny turner and proceed to screw it in. Pretty easy. I like that. One plug, one screw. That's impressive. I like that. I'm all for making life easier when it comes time to remove wings and things for transport, which this one is not near a large enough wingspan to really need to pull it off for transport, but that nifty carry box is a really cool idea. I just wish it had more lighting on it. I can already tell I'm probably going to want to add lights to this. So we got some sweat flies out here if you see me swatting. I would like to see some lights in the some landing lights in the nose cone. I know it's got some up here, but I always like to see more on the fuselage. I would like to see this to be an actual LED light, so we may upgrade that in the future. And then it would be nice to have one on top somewhere. I think the other version has a little spotlight in here, which would require another wire that goes to the wing. And no leading edge slats. We could have got some slats on here, I think, but we'll see how it flies first before we do too much complaining. We don't want to complain too much. I do have here a couple. Oh, we have some sweat bees. I have a couple of these Spectrum packs. This is the 4-cell and 3-cell, 300 milliamp, 30C. These are called the smart packs, only that these aren't really smart. They're too small. They don't have a balancing board or anything in them. They just have a balance plug, and then I think those are JSTs. So you could run any generic battery in these, and I'm assuming that they'll still have telemetry. So we're going to find that out here real shortly. But overall, so far, really impressed with the looks of this little aircraft. I'm really looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and looking forward to flying it. Really impressed with how it's packed. Impressed that they give you a box that you can store it and transport it in, and then also has a lot of foam around the outside of the box and between the cardboard and the plane to help protect it. I like the idea that you just have one screw and one wire, and you can pull the wing off and put it in and out of the box. It would be probably too big of a box, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it'd probably be a pretty good sized box to try to fit it inside the box without taking the plane apart. So, I mean, I think overall, I think they did pretty good. So, I would have liked to see a little more lighting on it, maybe some more scale suspension. But yeah, overall, pretty impressed with it. Pretty fun, and really happy that it still landed under the sub 250 category, and it's a fly anywhere type airplane. So, all right, we're gonna cut the film, and we'll be back in a second with the setup for your transmitter. We're gonna be setting it up on NX10 today, so you'll want to tune in for that. But thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.